What's going on, guys? Thank you for checking back with the Doghouse TV. Today we're going to be installing my Ford 88 axle you can see behind me. I've got to get to cutting some perches off and grinding it down, grinding it smooth, and then me and Matt are going to be placing it under the Jeep, figuring out the pinion angle and where we want to center it up, and welding in the perches. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get to grinding. We're all cleaned up. The axle is ground down. All the perches are off. It's not perfect, but it is cleaned up and it looks a hell of a lot better than it did. Now, a few things about the 88. The Ford Explorer comes from the factory sprung under. The leaf perch sits here and the leaf spring goes underneath the axle. And the XJ from the factory, you guys know, that sits on top. So what I'm gonna have to do, you guys can see these U-bolts where they used to sit. I'm gonna grind from here over and just clean all this top area up, and same thing with this side. And once that's all ground up, we're gonna pick it up, move it up underneath the Jeep. We're gonna take my perches that I have now, set them down in there, take the U-bolts, bolt the U-bolts from under it, and lightly clamp them together. That way we still have enough room to move the axle up and down and set the pinion angle, and also side to side, so that way we can make sure that it's even underneath the Jeep. The 88 is actually 2 inches shorter, it's an inch shorter on either side than the 8 1/4 or the factory Dan 35, whatever's in the back of your XJ. Some guys run spacers, but I don't find it that big of a deal. The pumpkin will be a little off-centered, but like I said, it's not that big of a deal. People do these swaps all the time, and it's a pretty common thing. You guys can get wheel spacers or an entire conversion kit if you really want to do it 100%. I just throw my wheels on there and call it a day. I think it does just fine. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to clean up this top part here, and we'll move over and get this thing underneath the Jeep. Alright, all cleaned up. Here's my Rubicon Express axle perches for the 88. We're going to be moving it up underneath the Jeep right now, and setting it up on some jack stands, bolting it to the leaf springs, and setting everything up. You'd be butthurt if they don't fit. I'm gonna blame the guy at 4 parts. So the guys at 4 Wheel Parts screwed me over. I understand that they are meant, you know, they're told to sell their products, Rubicon Express and Pro Comp, and you know, the stuff they carry. But I specifically told the guy I was doing an 88 swap, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, they work great, no problem." I mean, it doesn't even sit close. So what we're gonna do, because it's Sunday and I can't take them back and return them because I need to get my Jeep off the lift before work tomorrow morning, I'm going to shave these ears down and try to get it to sit down on the axle better. I think I'm gonna do one side and kind of just shave it right here and see if we can get it to drop down onto the axle all the way. With that being said, guys, we will check in with you when we figure that issue out. I feel like I'm always saying that in these videos, but I guess that's how it goes when you're doing automotive stuff on a YouTube channel. Alright guys, so we've got the axle ground down, we've got those perches ground down. Me and Matt moved it under the Jeep, as you guys can see. And we're going to be lowering the Jeep down on top of it and figuring out all of our angles and centering it up underneath the Jeep. I think I might throw it on a time lapse, not 100% sure if it's going to be like the full thing, but I'm definitely going to throw it on a time lapse real quick and get this thing down and center it over this axle. So wish us luck, guys. Well, as you guys can see, the axle's hanging up there. We've got the U-bolts on and the leaf perches are snug in there. The U-bolts are holding them together. We're just kind of figuring out our measurements from side to side and also setting our pinion angle. As you guys can see there, I'm setting it to about 15, 16 degrees. It's facing the transfer case pretty well, and we're just got to figure out how to center it up. Well, not how to, but get it centered up. And once that's done, we're gonna tack weld those leaf perches in there, pull it back down. I'll burn the leaf perches in, and that axle will be ready to go to completely bolt up. From there, we'll have to do shock mounts. I'll have to weld some shock tabs on it. It's a little tricky on the XJ. I'm gonna have to weld one on this side because the shock tab is up on this side, and then probably one on the outside because the shock tab is right there. So it's gonna look like an 8 1/4 kind of setup. I'll probably set the shocks at a little more of an angle. I'm not quite sure what angle I'll set them at, just a little bit for help with travel. I know it's a leaf spring, so it's not gonna do too much, but let me get this measurement set up and these guys tacked in, and we'll check with you guys when we get that done. All right guys, so she's in there. We've got everything set up just about how we want it. From this caliper bracket over to the leaf spring is about 3 inches and 3/4 of an inch. Same thing on this side, guys. From this edge of this bracket to the leaf spring, we have my pinion angle set right at 15 degrees. Looking right at the transfer case. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to throw a few tacks on these guys here. Then we're going to unbolt it, and I'm going to weld away. And once it's welded up, we'll bolt the axle up into the Jeep. We'll tighten up this hardware, and we'll have an axle on the back end. The second part will be getting the shock tabs and stuff, but I just wanted to make sure that it was a roller, because I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to get to the front this weekend. Might be something that I'm doing throughout the week. I'm not 100% sure, guys.
Well, you know, if we hurry up and knock this out, we'll probably get the front done.
Well, we can get the front end, but I don't know about that track bar and stuff, so. Alright guys, well, we're going to weld this stuff up real quick. I'm going to tack this stuff up, and then we're going to weld it up once we get it down, so.
Oh, my bad.
Tacked up. Ready to come down for some welds. Alright guys, I'm not finished welding just yet, but these are the main beads that are going to be on here. Not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and throw a last bead on this one, and obviously on this side. And I think these outside ones are just going to get one more. But they're on there. Let's weld it up in the inside too, along the bottom. So, slowly but surely, guys, we're coming along. The axle's going to be in the Jeep in just a matter of minutes. We're bolting them in now, guys. Starting to look good. Go for it, bro. Go for it. Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Got that missing wrench.
I haven't tightened those lower ones yet. There they are, guys. Shock tabs are next. And then it's to the front end. Oh, and also brake lines. I can't forget about those. As you can see, I'm outside and the shop's closed up, guys. We ran into a little bit of an issue with our brake line and we decided to call it a night. I went ahead and closed up shop, cleaned everything up, and I'm actually driving the good old shop truck home, guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this. If you haven't, this is our shop truck that I use here at work. It's been converted for full 4 doors. It's got all the paperwork for it and everything. Came from a company called Centura or something like that. Anyways, guys, I've got the XJ moved out of the shop. There's the back end. She's moved out of the shop. We're gonna have to figure out our brake line issue in the back. One of the lines isn't fitting like I wanted to. So we're gonna wrap it up now, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out all these videos. I'm digging all the comments. I'm digging the likes. I'm digging the views, guys. I appreciate everything. Part 3 is going to be coming up, guys. I know it's a ton of work. It's a lot of videos, and I don't want to overdo these videos, and I want to bring you guys content. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Later.